Hello and welcome back. I stepped outside this morning and the wind just about cut right through me.
Oh, yeah.
It is officially that time of year. The temperature's dropping, the skies are looking a little grayer, and, that winter chill is settling in. And honestly, I can't think of a better backdrop for what we're talking about today. It's quite literally the perfect weather to lace up some skates and hit the ice.
It really is. It's atmospheric. There is something about the cold that focuses the mind, which is actually a pretty perfect metaphor for the show we're discussing.
Exactly. Because Medalist has officially returned. Season 2 is here, people. It dropped this weekend. And we are diving headfirst back into the high-stakes, high-pressure world of competitive figure skating.
Yes, we are.
But before we get into the nitty-gritty, let's set the table. What are we actually looking at today?
We have a lot to get through. We're basing this deep dive on a stack of fresh reports about the premiere, a look at the new musical landscape of the season, and this is the part I'm most interested in, a very detailed breakdown of the production staff.
And let me tell you, when I was looking through these notes you sent over, the lineup behind this show looks, well, it looks stacked.
It's impressive.
But I'll be honest, some of these names I know, and some I don't. So my mission today is to figure out why this return is such a big deal. We're going to unpack the creative team, the dream team as some are calling it, and we're going to figure out why a story about ice skating carries so much emotional weight.
The emotional weight is key. This isn't just about landing a jump, it's about the years of life you lose if you miss.
Oof, high stakes. So if you're looking for your next binge watch, or if you just want to understand why your anime timeline is suddenly full of people crying over ice skates, stick around.
Please do.
We've got dream-chasing narratives, we've got technical production breakdowns, and honestly, some news about the future of the franchise that genuinely surprised me.
It surprised me too, actually, but we'll get to that.
Let's start at the beginning. I want to play devil's advocate for a second.
Okay.
Let's say I'm a listener who missed season 1. I see figure skating anime, and I think, okay, pretty costumes and classical music. And that what Medalist is?
Not at all.
What is the actual narrative core here?
It is so much more than that. At its heart, Medalist is a story about two people intersecting at the absolute lowest points of their respective careers. You have the two main characters, Tsukasa and Inori.
Right.
And what's fascinating is that the source material defines them not by their talent, but by their struggle.
I noticed the sources used some pretty heavy language. There was a phrase that stuck out to me, shattered aspirations. That doesn't sound very pretty costumes and classical music.
No, it's not. Let's look at Tsukasa first. He represents the adult perspective in this world. He is defined by those shattered aspirations. He's someone who knows the harsh reality of the sport because the sport already chewed him up and spit him out. He's been through the ringer, presumably seeing his own dreams of glory just hit a wall, and now he's on the other side of the barrier.
Which is such a compelling starting point.
Yeah.
Usually in sports shows, you follow the prodigy who just needs to believe, But starting with a guy who already tried and failed, that's relatable in a painful way.
It grounds the story in reality. And then you have Inori. She's on the other end of the spectrum, young, full of potential, but she's navigating a world where she has to fight alone.
Right.
The sources highlight that she has her own distinct challenges, likely dealing with a lack of support, skepticism from adults, or just the sheer isolation of being in a solo sport.
So you have the guy with the broken dreams and the girl fighting a lonely battle, and they find each other. It sounds like a recipe for either disaster or greatness.
That's the dynamic. It's a story of shared resilience. The text explicitly mentions their fervent ambition, and I think that word fervent is important.
Yeah.
It implies heat. Intensity. It's not a casual hobby for them. They are driven by this desperate need to prove that they belong there.
And whereas every sports story needs a destination. Are they just trying to win regionals or something?
The global stage. That is the goal.
Wow.
They want to claim a spot among the elite, and that's why the tension is so high. When you talk about the elite in figure skating, you aren't talking about being pretty good. You are talking about a level of perfection where the margin for error is effectively zero.
It's brutal. One slip, one bad landing, and years of work just evaporate.
Exactly. The sources emphasize that this season is going to be a whirlwind. We're talking about dreams and dazzling performances, sure, but beneath that dazzle is grit. The central question the show poses is determination enough?
Right.
Can you just want it more than the other person? Or does talent eventually create a ceiling you just can't break through?
That's the hook. Is hard work enough when you're up against the entire world? I love that.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's the emotional stakes. But here is where I want to dig in. Because looking at the production credits, I see some names here that look familiar, but I need you to connect the dots for me.
It is an impressive roster, for sure.
Let's break it down. Who is actually running the ship here?
The animation production is by Studio ENGI. They've been growing steadily in the anime landscape, but the name that really caught my eye is the director, Yasutaka Yamamoto.
Yamamoto. Okay, I did a quick search on him before we started, and I saw he worked on Servant Deck Service.
He did.
And I have to ask, isn't that a comedy? Like a slice of life office comedy?
It is!
So why him?
Yeah.
Why hire a comedy guy for a high-stakes emotional sports drama? That feels like a disconnect to me.
It might seem like that on the surface, but think about what makes a good comedy work. It's timing.
Okay.
It's understanding the beat of a conversation, the pause before a reaction, the subtle dynamics between characters in a room. Servant X Service relies so heavily on character chemistry.
Okay, I can see that.
Bringing that experience to Medalist is actually a really smart move because, yes, the skating is important, but the core of the show is the relationship between Tsukasa and Inori.
Right. The two of them.
A director who understands human interaction, who knows how to frame a conversation so it feels intimate or awkward or triumphant, that's exactly what you need here.
That makes a lot of sense. It's not just about the action, it's about the people. Now, moving down the list, I see the credit for series composition. And this name is highlighted in bold in your notes. Yuki Hanada.
Yes. This is a big one.
Okay, help me out here. For the listeners, and honestly for me too, what exactly is series composition? Is that just the person writing the script?
It's more than just writing the dialogue. Think of the series composer as the narrative architect.
The architect.
They're the ones who look at the original manga, which might be hundreds of chapters long, and they decide how to structure it into a 12 or 13 episode season. They decide where the cliffhangers go, which scenes get cut, and how to pace the emotional arc of the entire show.
So they're the ones controlling the flow. If the pacing feels off, it's on them.
Precisely. And Yuki Hanada is a heavyweight in this field. The source specifically mentions his pedigree from sound, euphonium.
Sound, euphonium. Okay, now that connects. That's the band anime, right?
It is. And it is, it's the gold standard for drama involving artistic pursuits. If you've seen it, you know it deals with music, yes. But mostly it deals with the crushing pressure of competition, the frustration of not being good enough, and the complex interpersonal drama of a large group.
I remember people saying that show was intense. Like, surprisingly intense for a show about a high school band.
It feels life or death, and that's Hanada's specialty. Having him on series composition implies that Medalist is going to have a very strong focus on emotional depth.
Okay.
He knows how to write those scenes where a performance didn't go the way the character wanted, and the silence afterwards is just deafening.
So we can expect Medalist to hit us right in the feels. He's not going to pull any punches on the psychological side of the sport.
Yeah, I think that's a safe bet. He understands that in artistic sports, the internal battle is just as loud as the external one.
Okay, so we have the director handling the characters, the architect handling the pacing. But figure skating, it has to look good. If the skating looks stiff or robotic, the whole illusion just breaks.
Yeah, that falls to the character designer, Chinatsu Kamiyama. The sources mention her previous work on In Another World with My Smartphone, too.
Right.
Her role here is ensuring the protagonists look stunning on the ice.
Stunning is a specific word choice. Why is character design so critical here, specifically?
Well, in a fighting anime, you can get away with rough lines to show speed, right? But figure skating is an aesthetic sport.
True.
The judges are looking at the lines of the body, the costume, the elegance. If the character design is clunky, the viewer can't believe that these characters are elite. Kamiyama's job is to make sure that even when they are standing still, they look like they belong on a podium.
Right. The visuals have to sell the talent. Okay, but we are missing one major piece of the puzzle. And when I saw this name, I actually got a little excited.
Ah, yes.
The music, the score. Who is bringing the noise?
Yuki Hayashi.
The legend.
The one and only. The source material connects him immediately to his famous work on Haikyuu.
Which is, famously, a volleyball anime. But it's not just a volleyball anime. It's known for being incredibly hype.
It is, and this is a fascinating choice for figure skating.
Why do you say that?
Because usually when you think of skating, you think of, I don't know, Tchaikovsky or Chopin. You think of grace.
Yeah.
But haiku is known for heart-pounding intensity.
Wow.
The music swells at the exact moment of impact. It creates an adrenaline rush.
So by hiring the haiku guy.
By bringing Yuki Hayashi in, the production team is signaling that the skating sequences aren't just going to be like polite performances. They are going to be battles. They are going to have the energy of a high-stakes sport.
I love that. Skating is a battle. You're battling gravity, you're battling the ice, you're battling your own nerves. And Hayashi's music turns sports into these epic conflicts.
Exactly. It suggests we are going to feel every jump, every landing, and every spin with that same high-octane energy. It shifts the tone from an exhibition to a fight for survival.
Man, I can already hear it, that signature Hayashi buildup. It's going to be so good.
It's going to be electric.
Speaking of music, though, we're not just talking about the background score. The reports also gave us the details on the new theme songs.
Yes, and these choices seem very, very deliberate.
Let's talk about the sensory immersion. What are we listening to?
The new opening theme is titled Cold Night.
Cold Night. Okay, that fits the weather outside right now. Very appropriate.
It's performed by Hannah. The report describes it as setting the perfect tone for this new chapter.
It sounds a bit moody, doesn't it? Cold Night doesn't exactly scream pop anthem.
It suggests a certain seriousness, perhaps reflecting the winter setting, but also maybe the colder, harsher realities of the competition they are entering. As you move up the ranks, the world gets colder, the competition gets fiercer.
And then we have the ending theme.
Rookies by Cotton Candy.
Rookies. That's a great title considering where Tsukasa and Inori are in their journey.
It is. The song is described as heartfelt, so we have a perfect tone opener that might be a bit sharper, and then a heartfelt closer that brings it back to the emotion. It balances the intensity with the human element.
Now, there was a little detail in the notes that I think the hardcore animation nerds out there will appreciate. The source mentioned something about creditless versions.
Yes, both the opening and ending sequences have been released in creditless versions.
Okay, for the person listening who just watches Netflix and doesn't obsess over these things, why is creditless a big deal? Why should we care?
So, imagine you're watching the opening sequence. The animation is beautiful, the characters are moving, the background art is gorgeous, but usually there are giant white text blocks everywhere.
The director's name, the sponsors.
The production committee plastered right over the character's face or the scenery.
Right, you're trying to see the art and you're reading produced by Kodansha instead.
Exactly. A creditless version removes all that text. It allows you to just soak in the stunning visuals without distractions. It's basically the studio saying, we are so proud of this art, we want you to see it like a painting.
It's pure eye candy. I love when they do that. It really lets you appreciate the composition.
Especially with a show like this where visual fluidity is the whole point.
So we've got the show, we've got the music, we've got this incredible staff. But let's say the listener is sitting there thinking, I can't wait week to week. I need to consume everything Medalist right now. Is there a way for them to jump ahead?
Absolutely. The source material reminds us that the original manga by Akata Saruma is available.
Always good to go back to the source.
And for our listeners, accessibility is Kikodansha USA offers an official English translation. So if you want to see how Juki Hanada adapted the story, or if you just want to admire Saruma's original artwork, you can pick that up today.
Hold on. There was one more thing in the report. And honestly, this felt like the biggest news of the bunch. This is the mic drop moment for the franchise.
You're talking about the future.
I am. The franchise is expanding.
It is. The report confirms that there is an animated film set to hit theaters.
A Medalist movie. That is huge.
It is. But here's the catch. It's slated for 2027.
2027. Okay,
Yeah.
That feels like a long way off. Why announce a movie now if it's not coming out for a couple of years? What does that tell us about the industry side of things?
This is actually a very positive signal. If they announced a movie for next month, it might just be a compilation movie, where they just stick all the episodes together.
Right, a cash grab.
But a release date in 2027 implies a full production cycle.
Ah, so they are building this from the ground up.
Exactly. A theatrical release usually means a significantly higher budget, higher production values, and a story that deserves the big screen treatment. It tells us that the production committee sees long-term value here.
Okay.
They aren't just churning out a season to sell a few books and moving on. They are investing in the future of the franchise.
That's a massive vote of confidence. It means Medalist isn't just a flash in the pan. It's a franchise they are betting on.
It connects back to what we said earlier about the staff. You don't hire this level of talent and then plan a movie 3 years out unless you believe you have a hit on your hands.
That is so exciting for the fans. It means you can invest your heart in these characters knowing that the story isn't going to just vanish after episode 12.
The road is paved for the long haul.
So let's bring this all together. We've covered a lot of ground. What's the snapshot here?
We have the return of Medalist with Season 2. We have a dream team of Staff Hinoda structuring the emotion, Hayashi bringing the battle intensity, and Yamamoto grounding the characters. We have a story rooted in shattered aspirations, aiming for the global stage.
And we have a future. A movie on the horizon in 2027. It sounds like the perfect storm.
It's a very complete package.
So here is my advice to you, the listener.
Mm.
If you haven't started yet, or if you were on the fence, grab some popcorn. Or maybe grab a hot chocolate, given the weather.
Yeah, definitely.
Settle in.
Whether you are a longtime fan or a newcomer, the table is set.
Get ready to root for Tsukasa and Inori. Because based on everything we've analyzed today, the music, the staff, the stakes, this season is going to be a ride.
A ride filled with thrilling performances and likely a few tours.
Absolutely. Now, before we go, I want to leave you with a thought. We talked a lot about ambition today. We talked about shattered aspirations and fighting alone.
And the resilience required to keep going when the world tells you to stop.
Right. But think about the dynamic between Tsukasa and Inori.
Yeah.
In a world that is so competitive, where everyone is trying to be the single best skater on the ice, is resilience alone actually enough? Can you just grit your way to the global stage? Or is the secret sauce actually finding the right partner? Someone who understands your specific kind of brokenness to unlock that potential that you couldn't reach by yourself?
That is the question to mull over. Is success a solo act or is it a duet?
Think about it. Thanks for listening to The Deep Dive. We'll catch you on the next one.
Goodbye.